As we live out our lives in this world, we are all subject to criticism and rejection. No matter how well you live your life, somebody won't like it. How should we respond to those who can't or won't accept us? Should we be defensive? There are two reasons you never need to respond defensively to the world's critical, negative evaluation of you. First, if you are in the wrong, you don't have a defense. If you are criticized for saying something out of order or doing something wrong, and if the criticism is valid, any defensiveness on your part would be a rationalization at best and a lie at worst. You must simply respond, "You're right, I was wrong," and then take steps to improve your character and change your behavior. Secondly, if you are right, you don't need a defense. Peter encouraged us to follow in the footsteps of Jesus, who, while being reviled, he did not revile in return. While suffering, he uttered no threats, but kept entrusting himself to him who judges righteously. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 23. If you are in the right, you don't need to defend yourself. The righteous judge who knows who you are and what you have done will exonerate you. If you can learn not to be defensive when someone exposes your character defects or attacks your performance, you may have an opportunity to turn the situation around and minister to that person. Christians who put down others are hurting people. Mature Christians don't behave that way because they know believers are not supposed to do that. There are no perfect people here on planet Earth. But is that what we're supposed to do? Sit around and judge each other's character? We're supposed to love and accept one another, not judge and determine what little character defects everyone has, because we all have them. But that's why there needs to be acceptance and forgiveness, because that's where you and I live. Learn not to be defensive, because if you're right, you don't need one, and if you're wrong, you don't have one. Realize this, that nobody puts down another person out of a position of strength. They're hurting people, and when conflicts arise, stick to the issues, stay off personalities. You are not obligated to respond to rejection by beating the system, giving in to the system, or rebelling against the system. The world system for determining your value as a person is not what determines your value. Peter wrote in 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 4, "And coming to him as a living stone, rejected by men, but choice and precious in the sight of God." Your allegiance is to Christ your Lord, not to the world. The Apostle Paul said in Colossians chapter 2, verse 8, "See to it that no one takes you captive through philosophy and empty deception, according to the tradition of men, according to the elementary principles of the world, rather than according to Christ." The world system is very influential, but you don't need to respond to that system, because you are not of this world if you are in Christ. You are in the world, but you are not of the world. John chapter 17, verses 14 to 16. You are in Christ. And if you find yourself responding to rejection defensively, turn your attention to those things that will build you up and establish you in your faith.